Oh man. It's getting pretty late, no? I think we should head home, Ghetto. You wanna stay and tell stories? I mean, we could, but I could also tell you stories at home. Oh, you want a scary story? Well, there was that one time we stumbled across a butcher's camp. You wanna hear that one? Alrighty, looks like we finally made it to the butcher's camp. And you know what? This is perfect because it means I can show you guys everything the Butchery Mod has to offer. So, let's go ahead and open this chest and show you guys the first couple items. Alrighty, so we're going to start off with the Butcher's Guide. Because I think it's fitting to start with a guide when this whole video is a guide. Alrighty, so yeah, when you open it, you'll get a nice little synopsis about what this mod includes and what it adds. And you'll get all of these categories, and you can click on these to figure out, you know, different items, different blocks, different mechanics. You can just learn all about it in this guide right here. Now, I won't be covering everything, but I'll be covering quite a lot, and I'll be covering everything you basically need to know about this mod pack. Now, this Butcher's Guide actually has two unique specialties or special abilities that I haven't seen many guidebooks do. And this comes in the form of sneak right-clicking decoration blocks to figure out their crafting recipe and their different variations. But also, say you have an item in your inventory that you don't know how to craft or what it does, well, you can hover over it, hold control, and boom, it'll tell you how to craft it, and it should tell you a little synopsis about the item. So yeah, really, really handy and really awesome to have in your Let's Play. So definitely recommend crafting it. Just crafted by some raw meat and a book. Really simple. Now we move on to the tools. Arguably one of the most important parts about this mod is the tools. And now you've got a bunch here, but they're very simple. They're very, very simple. So you've got 3 variants of the cleaver, and you've got 2 variants of the skinning knife. The hammer and the pliers are only iron. So yeah, not too much to worry about there. So the netherite cleaver is crafted like so, and the crafting recipe is the same for the bone and the iron, just with interchangeable ingots or materials, etc. And yeah, essentially the bone cleaver has the least amount of damage, least amount of durability, and then it goes up from iron to netherite. Netherite being the max upgraded cleaver you can get. Same with the skinning knife, and obviously the hammer is actually not used in the same way as the cleaver and the skinning knife. So these are both used in like the main butchery process, but the hammer is actually used exclusively for turtles, and you can kind of crack open a turtle shell. And let me just show you guys what that looks like. So yeah, this is what a cracked open turtle shell looks like. It's kind of like a bowl. So yeah, very cool. And the pliers is actually used to harvest wishbones from chickens. I'll get in depth into how you butcher animals in a second, but yeah, you get a wishbone and you can actually put it in a brewing stand and make a magical wishbone with a netherite star. And these things are powerful, so I would definitely recommend making loads of magical wishbones. But anyway, let's go ahead and kill an animal. So in order to essentially start the butchery process, you need to get a carcass. And you get one by killing an animal with a cleaver. So let's go ahead and get this piggy, and boom, it drops a carcass. You know what? We'll save him for later. We'll save him for later, because I've still got other things to show you before we go into the butcher's basement to butcher some animals. So yeah, let's go over here and show you guys the 2 new armor sets. There's actually 3 new armor sets, but the 3rd armor set is basically a apron, so it's nothing too fancy. But anyway, so the first armor set I'm going to look at here is the Pillager, or the Illager. Here they're called Pillagers, but I know they're also called Illagers. I'm not too sure what the difference is, but anyway, yeah, you get this armor set from just skinning a Pillager, so just butchering him. Pretty graphic stuff, pretty gruesome stuff, but hey, they're evil anyway, you know? So essentially what this does is, when you're wearing the full set, it gives you the Pillager (2) buff, which essentially makes you friendly towards pillagers, which is awesome. You know, you can go up to Steve and be like, yo, what up, Steve? How's the wife? And then he can be like, yo, what up, Gary? nice costume. Or nice skin in this case, because he'll think it's your skin, because he will think you're a pillager. But yeah, it's not too protecting. Like, it only gives you 4 bars of armor, I'm pretty sure. We can go ahead and check as well. But yeah, it only gives you 4 bars of armor, so it's not going to protect you from much. But, you know, it's definitely useful. It has its benefits, especially if you're trying to make a raid farm. And the next armor set is actually the brand new strongest armor set in the game, called the Dragon Scale armor set. Now, this thing looks absolutely amazing, but it is a grind to grind for. There you go. Looking snazzy, looking epic. So yeah, you craft it by butchering a dragon and getting dragon scales. You then use dragon scales in a crafting recipe like this, in conjunction with netherite ingots, to craft a singular dragon scale ingot. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's expensive as hell, right? But it doesn't stop there. No. You then need to get lucky in a end city to get a dragon smithing template. You can also duplicate these from butchering the dragon and using the rest of the dragon's remains. So yeah, really awesome. And then yeah, you basically get your ingot, you get your smithing template, but then you need to get your netherite armor set with a smithing template, a smithing table, put them all in the table, and boom. That's how you get the dragon scale chestplate. So it is a grind, I'm not gonna lie, but it's just really nice to see some end game appreciation here for what seems to be a simple mod, but no, there is depths, there is layers. And I'm gonna go ahead and keep the dragon set on, just in case the butcher comes back to his camp and wants to start some beef, no pun intended. Right, so this is the skinning racks. This is a brand new way to get leather in the game, and it looks like he's been crafting out some leather of his own. Let's go ahead and get ourselves some hide real quick. Let's get some camel fur, let's get some cow skin, and some llama skin. Why not? And let's whip these bad boys into there. So essentially, you craft the skinning rack in a really easy manner, just with sticks and string. And yeah, this will basically solve that issue of looking for leather when you need to craft an enchantment room. So essentially, you need to cure the leather first. So you grab a sponge. Sponge is crafted with a cleaver and a sponge. Yes, I know, sponge inception out here. But yeah, so you get the sponge from the Elder Guardian in a crafting recipe with a bone cleaver, and you get the smaller sponge. Then you want to right-click some water with your sponge, and you shall get a wet sponge. And then you want to right-click your skinning rack whilst the skin is in the rack, and boom, it will turn darker. And we're actually going to do that for all the skins here. And yeah, you'll get some wet hides. And now you want to get salt. This is a new mineral that can be found in caves and stuff. It is really easy to find, so don't worry. You'll find this super duper easy. And if you go to a ocean biome and pick up a bucket of water, yeah, it's called a bucket, so it's the exact same spelling as well, but it has different lore attachment to the item. So it says its only use is collecting salt water from ocean biomes. So you want to grab this bucket, salt, and surrounded by iron ingots, and then collect water, and then you can smelt that bucket in a furnace, and then you can get salt like that as well. But anyway, you want to grab your salt and right-click the hides as well, and they will turn kind of whitish. And yeah, that's when you'll know they're fully cured, and now you just need to wait until they turn into leather. Now, you won't only receive one leather from these, you will receive multiple leather, so it is really efficient, really nice way of getting leather. But anyway, it is time to hop in to the meat, the bones of this mod pack, the basement. Now, we will come back up to check out this rotisserie spit, but yeah, let's pop down below, shall we? Alrighty, here we go. So, looks like the butcher's layer is pretty grimy, pretty gross. You know what? I think we want to grab that sponge, and I think we want to clean up a bit here. Let's go ahead and whip our bad boys up here. Grab this sponge, because we're going to need to clean our workstation before we use it. There we go, perfect. And then we just get a bloody sponge. And we just got to throw it away, unfortunately. Alrighty, sorry about that. I just had to cut the video real quick because I had a really annoying issue with my game. But yeah, so essentially how you want to set up your kind of butcher's setup wherever you're setting up your butchery station is you want to have chains along the wall or along the ceiling, and then you want to attach hooks onto the chains. So you craft these chains like so. Oh, I mean hooks like so. Here we go. So just 3 iron nuggets, really super simple, really easy crafting recipe. But also, alternatively, you can craft this hanging hook. So in case you don't have iron, you can craft a hanging hook, and essentially it does the same thing. So yeah, really, really nice. Now, let's go ahead and put our pig from earlier onto this hook. Boom. And yeah, it's looking snazzy. He's all tied up. And you can see I have this little blood grate on the floor. Now, essentially, when you start the butchery process, so right-click the animal with a skinning knife or a cleaver, they'll start to bleed, and they will actually bleed all over the floor and create liquid on the floor. And you don't want that, ideally. But let's go ahead and demonstrate it for you anyway. Yes, let's put this guy up here. Let's get the butchery knife, and boom. There you go. We just right-clicked him. There should be blood particles. I think my game's a little bit bugged here. But yeah, as you can see, blood is all over the floor. And you can collect it in a bucket here. And then you can actually use the bucket in a crafting recipe to create the blood splatter, which is a really nice decoration item. Anyways, let's go ahead and clean up the blood. So yeah, you want to craft the blood grate. The blood grate, super simple to create as well. Just iron nugget surrounded by an iron bar. It holds up to 16 buckets of blood, so you can harvest the blood from the grate as well. Anyways. So what you want to do is right-click your pig or whatever animal you're butchering with your cleaver, and you will start the butchery process. You need to wait until the mob is fully drained of blood. You'll see it goes fully pale. And then the blood particles will also stop dripping. That's when you'll know it's ready to start hacking to pieces. So yeah, whilst that's draining, I will talk you through a couple other items we have. So we also have the butcher's table. Now, you don't need the butcher's table to butcher the mobs, but I would say it's kind of recommended, you know. It's the more graphic way of doing things, but it's cool. It's cool. And hey, you're installing a butchery mod, you know, you want the full package. So you craft it like so. It is pretty expensive. It is heavy on the iron, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, then you place it down, and just like I showed you when we first came down here, you do need to clean the table with a sponge after every use. So yeah, do keep that in mind. You don't want to get any infected blood. And you get infected blood, obviously, by butchering, like, mobs and stuff. The next thing I want to show you guys is the jars. These are some, like, decoration objects. Just, you craft them using glass, and you can actually craft little organ jars in case you're a little serial killer. There they are, so you can get a heart in a jar, intestines, etc., etc. So yeah, very, very handy. Very, very nice. Now, sulfuric acid. This is slightly important because it's how you get all of the corpse decoration blocks. So essentially, you craft this by brewing up some sulfur. Now, sulfur is yet another mineral that you will find in the mines. It's not too difficult to find, so don't worry. I'll also show you what the ore looks like. It's like yellow, and you get it in deep slate form as well. So very easy to find. It's not too bad. But essentially, you want to grab your acid, and we're gonna need another animal for this. Let's go ahead and grab a drained piggy. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm like I don't know why I have something against pigs here, but you just want to right-click your sulfuric acid against the pig, and it should start doing its thing. But yeah, we'll come back over to our main drained pig here. So you can butcher this thing on the hook, but for examination purposes, let's go ahead and take it off the hook. Normally, it would just break off, but because I'm in creative mode, we have to go ahead and grab one. There you go, and then you just right-click him onto the butchery table. At which point, you grab your nearest cleaver and you start right-clicking some more. And yeah, now you can do it in a more ordered fashion. So you can take off the legs first, you know, then you can take off the head, and then you start with the body. Perfect. You get all the organs, all the good bits, and then you're left with the skeleton, which should give you some bones, which is awesome sauce. And anyway, it looks like our little carcass has finished carcassing. So I'm actually gonna go into survival mode just to show you guys how you claim this. There you go, boom. You just break it off. It will give you slowness as well when you're carrying corpses, so careful about that. Anyway, you can place him down, and he's a lovely, lovely decoration. Now, if we pop back into game mode creative, there is a bunch. There is literally almost every mob is able to be a carcass and able to be a skeleton, all right? So yeah, go free. Let your imagination run wild with the decorations. And yes, that includes the Ender Dragon, Elder Guardian, and Wither Corpse. And we'll get on to those boss mob butcherings in just a moment. But anyway, let's get back to our little workstations here. So as you can see, we have a freezer, we have the counter block, the meat grinder, and the pestle and mortar. So let's go ahead and start with the pestle and mortar. This thing doesn't actually grind up normal bones as you would imagine. No. It actually grinds up wither bones, and you get wither bones by butchering a wither corpse, of course. So let's go ahead and put the wither bones in here. Now, once they're all grinded up in the pestle and mortar, you will get yourself some wither bone meal. And the wither bone meal actually allows you to get wither roses from a rose bush. So let's go over to my man's little garden over here. Boom. And let's place down a couple bushes, because it's not a 100% thing. You're not guaranteed a wither rose when you right-click a rose bush, but it is a pretty high chance. But there we go. We got the RNG gods on our side, and we got ourselves a wither rose. There we go. That one died, and so did that one. So yeah, it's just a really nice way of getting wither roses. Now, another good drop that you can get from a wither when you're butchering it is a withered heart. Now, I can't stress enough how OP this thing is. Like, it gives you... Let's go ahead and eat it. So it gives you a brand new buff called the Wither's Blessing. Now, essentially, this grants you immunity from dying. And I just need to double check its buffs real quick. So let me get the butcher's note. But yeah, it grants you immunity from dying, and it also gives you one more thing, which I can't quite remember. Let's go ahead and have a look. So yeah, it grants a 5% chance of regeneration and invulnerability for 60 seconds. So yeah, it grants you immunity for dying for 60 seconds and a 5% chance for rejuvenation. So yeah, it's just awesome. And obviously it has 3 bars of saturation and a bunch of hunger bars. So like, if you're gonna farm withers, please butcher them, bro, because the wither hearts are basically amazing golden apple alternatives. Since we're on the topic of boss mobs, I guess, you can also butcher an Elder Guardian to get the Elder Guardian Eye. You can turn that into the Elder Guardian Eye. I know, crazy wordplay going on. But yeah, you basically surround the Elder Eye with some leather, and boom, you get yourself some night vision goggles, essentially. So you want to whip these bad boys on, and yeah, they look pretty snazzy. Makes you look like a Cyclops. But, you know, maybe that's your vibe. Maybe that is your vibe. And boom, you can hop in some water and look at the night sky in all of that brightness glory. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And looks like our leather is also finished. Let's go ahead and grab it. 12. Not bad, not bad. So it looks like it gives you 6 from 3. So I think it gives you 2 leather from each singular hide, because I had 6 leather in my inventory before. So that's really, really cool. Alright, so onto the meat grinder. This thing allows you to create sausages and mince. So there is an attachment called the sausage filler attachment, which is crafted like so. Really simple, really easy. And you can just right click this bad boy onto the meat grinder. And yeah, it will essentially create sausages. We need some meat to put in there. Okay, we can't use the pork leg. Good to know. What about the belly? Can't use the belly. Oh, you know what we need? We need the intestines. That's what we need. There we go. Put that bad boy in there. And then I think we should rotate? No? Interesting. It looks like... Okay, yeah. It looks like this may be bugged, unfortunately. Unless I'm doing it wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm just doing it wrong. But if you guys figure it out, let me know in the comments below. But essentially, this is how you make sausages. And it's also how you make mince. And I can show you how to make mince. Hold on, chat. Ah, there we go. All right, so I think you just need to be in survival mode. But I do also know you need to use specific meats as well. But again, you can learn all about that in the guidebook. But yeah, this is how you make some awesome mince. And then you go ahead and grab your skinning knife. And yeah, you can collect the mince. I also need to show you how to craft it. So yeah, cauldron, iron, and a stick. So it is a little expensive. I don't know if I recommend crafting it. But hey, it is there if you want it. And I think the sausages are a really good food source as well. And I'll come over to I'll come to showing you what the food actually does in a second, because it's not really used for hunger regeneration. It's used for saturation regeneration. And if you don't know what I mean, I'll show you guys. Don't worry. Okay, so yeah, let's move on to the freezer. So you saw me use this already. It's basically a storage item, but just for raw meat. And it has a really cool feature where if you shift right click the top, you can actually open it. And you get this cool little design on the inside of a freezer with some ice. And you can also close it. Very awesome. And then you've also got the new counter block, which is a new decoration block. And you can use it for a nice kitchen design, I think. So yeah, very awesome. Also, I don't think I showed you guys the crafting recipe for the pestle and mortar, but it is really simple, just some stone, like so. Alrighty, so back to our chest of goods. But I think I've actually covered most things here. We got the butcher's apron, which is a cosmetic item purely. But yeah, there's not really anything else to show you. The rest I kind of want you guys to figure out on your own, because the point of these mod showcases is to give you a sense and give you a taste of the mod. Enough of a taste where you guys want to download it for yourself. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end out this little mod review here by rotisserie some chicken or some pig even. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have been absolutely awesome. And I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye. I like them big. I like them chunky.